September is National Suicide Prevention Month, a time to remember those lost to suicide as well as raise awareness of the stigmatized topic.
A local nonprofit is working to help adolescents and teens struggling with mental health and depression. That group is called Erica's Lighthouse. Brandon Combs is the executive director of that group. He's joining us now to tell us a little bit more about their Give Voice to Suicide Prevention campaign that will be going on this month. I think one of the things that people may not realize is that your programs are in 1,000 schools throughout Illinois, about 1,000 schools throughout Illinois. And I'm wondering how you go about approaching this very sensitive topic for many kids.
Yeah, so I think it's always one of those interesting conversations where the reality is what we know is that young people want to be having this conversation, and it's really parents and educators that are the more hesitant group. So what we're seeing is kids are very aware that their friends, their peers are really struggling. They're experiencing mental health and mental health challenges in ways that we have not seen before among young people. And so what we really want to focus on is how do we have this conversation in a meaningful way, in a sensitive way, but also in a really empowering way.
So what does that look like? You said the focus isn't suicide, it's mental health.
So really we're talking about taking an upstream approach and recognizing that talking about mental health is not talking about mental illness. We can talk about mental health in really positive ways. We all have it, we all experience it, and there are positive coping mechanisms that we all leverage on a day-to-day basis along the process, whether we acknowledge that or not, right?
Okay, so do you mind giving me some examples of how you would approach, because we talk about upper elementary school students, so 5th, 6th grade. So how do you approach that discussion with them? What do you say to them?
So we're using more of a term around mental health literacy. So for us, we're really educating students about the difference between everyday feelings versus overwhelming feelings. When is it too much? When do we need to ask for help? What do we do if we feel like it's becoming overwhelming? When we're talking about our level 2 and our level 3 in middle school and high school, we're getting more into conversations about naming depression. Let's really talk about depression as a mental disorder, and then how do we manage that? How do we utilize positive coping mechanisms? And a really big one for youth, how do we ask for help? And how do we identify a trusted adult and have a conversation to get that help we need?
It seems like it really gives them the tools to understand what they're dealing with as they go out into the real world.
That is absolutely the focus and the goal.
And you mentioned that the topic itself, the issue, is more prevalent today. What's behind that? Is that I think of the really awful things now people can say to each other via social media that a parent might never learn about.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a lot of different confluences right now coming into place. So one of them, we certainly know social media has a role. The Surgeon General has come out talking about that. We've known for a long time screen time has played a role, whether social media or otherwise. We also know COVID had an impact, and the isolation that teens had around COVID, recognizing how they needed to respond, how could they find time for themselves, how could they socialize in meaningful ways during that period. And then we're also seeing just simple additional stressors. Getting into college is very difficult. We also know young people are very concerned about the environment and climate change. And all of this is coming together at a very challenging point where mental health is still not a conversation that we can have in normal society.
And you hope that that's changing, right?
I think it's so important to point out that your organization, which now helps countless thousands of kids all over the country, was started in the northern suburbs by 2 parents.
That's correct. So we were founded in 2004. We're actually recognizing our 20th anniversary this year. And what's really key about that, Tom and Jenny Newkrantz, when they founded our organization 20 years ago, after they lost their daughter, Erica, who died of her depression when she was in middle school. Since then, we have gone on to be an incredible program. We're in over 2,400 schools around the country. As mentioned, about 1,000 of them are in Illinois, and particularly in a local here. We do all of the staff training for Chicago Public Schools, and we're in a number of local schools, and we're always looking to do more.
All right, so September 8th through the 14th, you're hoping to build a little bit more awareness. We've got like 15 seconds. Anything you want to say about that week?
Suicide prevention is coming up. Let's normalize the conversation. It's okay to say suicide. And really quickly, if you want to access any resources, programs, you can go to ericaslighthouse.org, and you can get instant access to all of our programming that is completely free of charge.
All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time, Brandon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, if you or someone you know is struggling, you can reach out also to the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It's just 3 numbers, 988 via text. Help is available 24 hours a day.